How do you like this for a crazy story? After all these years, Anita Hill and the Thomases are back in the news. Clarence Thomas and Ginny Thomas, of course, the justice's wife. Okay, come to find out, Ginny Thomas gives a call to Anita Hill. She says that she was extending an olive branch to Anita Hill and left her a voicemail. And here's what the voicemail said. I just wanted to reach across the airwaves and the years and ask you to consider something. I would love you to consider an apology sometime and some full explanation on why you did what you did with my husband. So give it some thought and certainly pray about this and come to understand why you did what you did. Okay, have a good day. Indeed. Okay. First note, that is not an olive branch. Okay? Unless you're planning to, hit her with it. Like, oh, here's a little olive branch. You're asking for an apology when she thinks she was sexually harassed. And I love how she says a couple of times, like, just think about it. You know what you did. You know what you did to my husband. Just think about it. Okay? And the thing is, remember how I tell you from time to time that I was a Republican back in the day? I was. It's no joke. And I remember during the Clarence Thomas and Anita Hill hearings, you know which side I was on? I was on Clarence Thomas's side. Now, looking back on it, you know whose side I'm on now? Still largely Clarence Thomas's side. Okay, lib heads exploded all across the country just now. You can't say that. That's crazy talk. All right, first of all, Clarence Thomas is a terrible justice. Terrible. He doesn't even bother participating during the proceedings. He never talks, and he's the most doctrinarian, conservative, and by the way, not ideologically consistent justice we've had, okay? So it doesn't go towards Clarence Thomas and how he's performed on the bench at all. But remember, if you do, all the way back then in those hearings, Anita Hill came out of nowhere and said, hey, 3 years ago, he had talked about pubic hair on his Coke can and referenced porn a couple of times, etc., right? Look, if those things are true, those are interesting things, and if she brought them up at the right time to her superiors, obviously that'd be an issue. Now, a lot of people say, hey, wait a minute, people who are sexually harassed feel intimidated, etc. I don't want to relitigate the whole thing, but at the same time, understand that that's kind of a bizarre charge to make right before the guy's about to go to get confirmed. And it could happen to anybody. It could happen to a conservative justice. It could happen to a liberal justice. So he said he had a pubic hair in his Coke. How does that relate to how he would be as a justice? I never understood that. I still don't understand it. I don't even understand how that's sexual harassment. That's just nasty, dude. There's a pubic hair in your Coke, get it out, okay, or don't drink it. But what it has to do with his confirmation hearings to this day, I still don't know. And he mentioned porn in the workplace. All of us. Guilty as charged. J.R. Jackson, I'm sorry, but you can never be a justice again. Okay, again. Well, you are on the TYT Supreme Court. That's true. All right, look, come on. So, now, look, I mentioned that as a point of, I'm not necessarily against Ginny Thomas originally during the hearings, right? But to come out after all these years, 19 years, and to say you owe my husband an apology, obviously that's not how she feels. She feels she was sexually harassed by your husband. She's not going to apologize to him. That's crazy talk. And even if you believed all of that, it's certainly not an olive branch. Okay, come on. So, but you can tell it's been gnawing at her for 2 decades and it's still under her skin. Now, but then again, you flip over to the other side. Anita Hill, you know what she did? She's now a professor at Brandeis University, and that's where Ginny Thomas tracked her. Anita Hill reported this to the FBI. Why? Did you think Ginny Thomas was going to stalk you and she was going to come after you? Did there seem to be any threat of violence or something? Why report it to the FBI? I find that really bizarre. And then she reported to the press. You know what you could have done? Be like, that's weird. Nah, let me let it go. Okay? I don't know. Maybe that's too much to ask for. And honestly, look, we got to keep it real here. The more your name's in the press, the more you're going to get paid for speeches, books, etc. I'm not saying that's why Anita Hill did it. And I know, man, God, some libs are going to be so mad with me. Okay? But at the same time, I don't know why she, reported it all the way up to the FBI, and Ginny Thomas, I mean, other than the fact that it's under her skin, I don't know why she's going back at this. And I can't believe that in her head, she really believes that Anita Hill, made it all up? I don't believe that part. I just believe that I believed in Anita Hill. I just didn't think that it was something that merited bringing up in a judicial confirmation hearing 3 years later. So, but the drama continues after all these years. You know what's coming next, of course? A reality show. Anita versus Ginny. Real Housewives of D.C., Boston, I don't know. But that could be fun. I'm in for that. Okay.